Alright guys, this is kind of my first test run type thing, so bear with me. I know the lighting isn't all that great, but this is my meditation spot. Connect to my ancestors on the masculine side, and over there's another window. I like to hang out and connect to my ancestors on the feminine side. And I was just sitting here kind of gathering my thoughts, praying, meditating, getting in the Word here, and just kind of getting back to the basics of John 3:16, and I always like 17 because it goes on and says, God did not send His Son into the world to condemn it, but to save it. You know, and it talks about the divine light in there, and just that life spark that I'm learning to make sure I'm damn sure connected to. And yeah, it's amazing how trying times will humble you and reset things. And I'm definitely in a major reset time in my life, and there's sometimes where I wake up terrified of it, but then I gather myself and I get excited about it. So I'd appreciate all your love and prayers coming my way. I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about myself. I've been in a 23 year very committed relationship with my high school sweetheart. We have had a lot of trying times throughout the years from a lot of different directions, and I definitely want to get my story written and out there in hopes to encourage people. Even though I'm in this new form of rock bottom, it's not quite so rock bottom, but at the same time, if I don't heed the situation I'm in and take full advantage of it, I will really hit rock bottom. So that's good to be in that position of recalibration and to find out where your heart really is, and to find out how far you've really come in the past. And we've lived in Pensacola for the last 12 years or so. I got in some trouble with the law and spent like 5.5 months in jail. I later have realized that I was in a very manic stage, and that I was untreated bipolar at the time, and I was on some medication that was very toxic. It was a very high dose of Xanax, and it was actually one pill less than the maximum dose given to anybody, and basically I was just under the threshold of a cancer patient, basically. And I definitely ended up abusing them because really my heart was in marijuana. Marijuana definitely always helped recalibrate me, especially when I came across the right strain that really vibed with me. Now I've been a participant of the Florida medical marijuana program for quite a few years now. Recently I haven't been able to afford it, which is what it is, but I'm thankful it's out there. The prices of the medicine has come down tremendously from the first couple of years. It was ridiculous. And so things are getting better on all fronts in a lot of ways. I hope this audio's getting through to you good. I know my voice is deep, and sometimes it kind of mumbled together, so I'll try and do better on that if I'm not already. So anyways, just to continue on a little bit, backstory. Basically, I recommitted my life to the Lord Jesus Christ, and I became a huge Bible thumper. I studied the Bible a lot, day and night. I got into some food ministries. We started up and expanded in a few different campuses. feeding the homeless and clothing the homeless and stuff. And ironically, I'm not living too far from one of the long-term stay hotels that we really helped out a lot of people, because I started to realize it's about the impoverished in general. It's not just the the starving. It's just like how many people are a paycheck or two away from homelessness themselves. Everybody needs some kind of help, some kind of encouragement in one way, shape, form, or another. Whether it's a backpack program for some kids at school, or food, or if it's just therapy or things like that. So I intend to continue to follow my dream, and I want to start some kind of, I have a lot of ideas on nonprofit organizations, being extremely transparent with their funds and not just advertising, for more funds to feed the beast instead of actually helping people. Like a lot of these big major nonprofit organizations that you kind of get asked at Walmart to donate to type thing. So I believe we're in a major transformation in the collective consciousness for sure, but also in this country, in America, and the world for that matter. Freedom is on the rise, and with that freedom rising, there's a lot of resistance to it, and there's a lot of just resistance in every way. The word goes on to say here, they hate the light because they want to sin in the darkness. They stay away from the light for fear their sins will be exposed and they will be punished. There's obviously a lot of truth in that. Once you start to dig into yourself, into your psyche, into your actions, into the reasons why you have become who and what you are, and you try to look for a better way. It's a slow, arduous process. And I was blessed enough, and this is a huge key part of the story, I was blessed enough to have the time to study because I was the Mr. Mom. I've been, for 20 plus years, the majority, the glorified babysitter kind of thing. We have 3 beautiful children. And when my health fell apart a few years ago, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything fell apart and collapsed. And I've been rebuilding ever since then. But when that happened, I just couldn't, be the homemaker anymore. And I had to focus on my recovery. I had a broken kneecap I walked on for 2.5 years from a car accident. I actually did farm work on it. Broke my wrist twice there. I fractured it once, and then like 2 weeks later, it really broke it. Which I was like, oh, I guess that was a fracture. And then I hurt different parts of my back. My mid back, my neck had problems. Things are a lot better now because I discovered yoga, and that was a huge humbling season because of my, I guess, partially fundamental Christianity kind of infiltrated my mind to some degree because I wanted the full healing power of Jesus. I wanted all the gifts. I wanted to walk in faith and be healthy naturally. I didn't want to have to depend on pain medication, for example, and things. And that's why I ended up back with the medical marijuana, because that helped me a lot in a lot of ways, like I said. But it's very strain specific, and availability is always changing. What's in stock kind of deal in sales, and when you have to shop the sales, it's been kind of hard. And these are first world problems, of course, so I feel simultaneously kind of guilty complaining, but at the same time thankful for the opportunity, but at the same time knowing that it should be way better, and knowing that the total freedom really is in the freedom from taxation, basically, and freedom to be able to produce with your own land, which your mind, body, and spirit needs, you know. Um, so I'm sure we're heading in the right direction concerning that. So there's a lot of complexities in the situation that I'm in, and I've been very hesitant to share it publicly. So I'm glad I'm kind of getting it out there now. Um, so I've been the whole, stay-at-home dad, which I hate that term, stay-at-home dad, because I've been at home for so goddamn long. I'm basically a hermit, no doubt, no doubt. And so it's been good in a lot of ways for my spiritual development, obviously, and my introspection and clearing karma, so to speak, and going through childhood wounds, and because I've been diagnosed with complex PTSD from some things growing up, which is, looking back now, is relatively normal, but it was pretty traumatic at the time, and then led to my father's death at 17. And I met my wife. Well, I guess we started dating. I met her freshman year, but started dating beginning of junior year. And at the end of sophomore year, or something like that. Anyways, so she stuck with me throughout all of this, and has been extremely, extremely, extremely compassionate, extremely supportive, extremely strong, extremely driven, extremely wonderful in a lot of ways. I say that, and I hate to say but there is a but. But since due to our circumstances, we definitely end up growing apart, because she was focused on, finances and work, and whatever extra time she had, she wanted to spend with kids, which is obvious, She's a great mother and has wonderful motherly instincts. So, now I'm in a position to where we've had a disagreement large enough to where I guess we couldn't find a solution. Basically, we weren't in a position to really dive deep into our problems. And our situations basically stem back before moving to Pensacola 12 years ago. Because there was like 8 years in the Tampa Bay area where we lived in pretty bad conditions, but it was absolute hell for me, from the childhood or from my high school experience, basically, with my dad being my best friend, my coach, and my father, and my employer, because we had a family business that was very lucrative, that we ended up losing after his death. And me being the oldest of 5, with me and my baby sister, or my youngest sister, 16 years apart, made things kind of difficult. So when my father passed away, I tried to really step up to the plate to help provide for my family and for my mother and the kids. And we tried to start a couple businesses, and they fell apart pretty quick, and nothing was working. And it was just one punch in the gut, punch in the nuts, punch in the temple, after another for at least 8 years. And that's when I went to government help for mental health issues, and they diagnosed me as bipolar immediately when I was 19. But my wife and I blew it off, because I remember the conversation going you were in there for 15 minutes, how can they just know that? Well, looking back now, you can definitely understand that. So I didn't go for any treatment other than medication because I was just trying to numb the pain. And that didn't turn out too good. Or at least it didn't look like it turned out too good at the time, but it really did turn out good because it gave me, sorry about the airplane, but it gave me 5.5 months to kind of sit down and think about things and to get away from a very toxic environment, living with in-laws and so on, in a house in deplorable condition. It was basically in the middle of being remodeled, concrete floors, not much drywall in the place, exposed, wiring and stuff. Not that it was exposed like it wasn't taped up or anything, but exposed like you could see it instead of a wall being there. So, anyways, it was just a lot different from when I grew up, and I loved my wife so much. It kept us going, and then we chose to have a child. We chose to have our oldest, and a couple more came along. There's a fly bothering me. Anyways, that's probably details for the book one day. So I know I kind of bounce around a lot when I'm telling stories, so hopefully it's not terribly hard to follow. But anyways, so I'm in this point, in this position to where my wife and I couldn't discuss problems that were bothering me, I guess mostly because she has a superpower of just going on with life and being a shining light on the dark world, to be honest with you, in a lot of ways. But in that time, we grew apart to the point to where we haven't been able to, I haven't been willing, basically, to suppress my feelings any longer. So throughout some communications that didn't go well, she decided to take the kids and leave, and that turned into a lot of survival mechanisms engaging on both sides of the story. And I'm in the position to where I'm in our house by myself, in our mess, by myself, and simply just fighting for the mental health of my children, to be honest with you. I want my kids to do the best that they can do, and I want to help them get them there. And I've been too sick for the last 5 years or more to really be a father to them, so I've slowly but surely have lost contact with them in the same house we've been living in. It's been very, very draining on me, and I'm sure on them too, on everybody. And I believe in reconciliation, and I know that takes a lot of time and effort. I know that time and effort has to come from both sides. So hopefully one day, that can still happen. But right now I have to get my life together for me. I have to do what's best for me. I have to either find a way to pay for this place, which I'd love to do, or I have to, find a way to get somewhere else, which seems obvious. Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions in all of this. Very, very complicated. So I don't know if I completely mentioned it, but the last 2.5 years or so, I've been going through ketamine treatments, and the ketamine treatments have helped tremendously. The medical marijuana definitely helped. through some relatively high dose edibles. Um, I was really able to get in some spaces to really work out some deep inner child wounds and triggers, and kind of learn the process of transmuting. And definitely wouldn't call myself an expert. Always got a lot to learn. Um, so the ketamine treatments have helped a lot. Um, I'm on some new medication that has definitely helped a lot. And another huge thing that has helped a lot is my diet. Um, Ketogenic diet doesn't really work for me, even though ketosis works for me. But the ketogenic with uh, basically, in a nutshell, organic ground beef is what I eat. So I'm on the carnivore diet, the Lion's diet, and I feel fantastic. I'm getting back on it the last couple days, and my back feels a hell of a lot better. I tweaked it a couple days ago just because of the 3 weeks of eating ramen noodles that I've been going through, which, I'm not trying to sound like woe was me or whatever. I was thankful for it every day, and I did what I could do. But my body was really, really getting fucked up from it. My knee was like out of place for days, and I had to do a lot of stretching to kind of get it back, but still the inflammation every day was making it tweaked. And anyways, a lot of y'all just be like, toughen up, where's your inner David Goggins, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, I want to be smart and not be dumb and put myself in a position to where I injure myself catastrophically, which I've done multiple times before with herniated disc type stuff. So I've avoided surgery, I've avoided pain pills, I've avoided quite a fucking bit, and I've learned a hell of a lot. And now it's, super duper go time, put all my ducks in a row and kick ass and take names and whatever I gotta do. So this may sound, at least I have insecurity about revealing all this to you guys, because it's like, okay, this guy's been, the last 20 plus years, living at home, and it's kind of like a failure to launch type scenario, which I can definitely, for sure, obviously see that perspective. But it's just kind of a lot of combination of events that led to now, and it's been quite a few years of battling social anxiety and things like that I've come a long ways, and I'm excited about the future. I'm a self-taught mechanic. I lost all my tools and cars that I built up over the prior years at the farm. We had a fire, burnt the barn down, which was my shop, and I lost everything. And so I was at a point to where I was in physical shambles, mental shambles, spiritual shambles, and, no tools or ability to do anything. So my beautiful wife literally nursed me back to health in a crazy situation. She went back to school during the COVID time, and she got her degree in business and accounting, and she's just super badass. I really appreciate her example, and all that she's done for me and continue to do for me and our family, our beautiful children. So it's a complex, complicated world. But I guess that's what makes it fun, right? So I'm here, and if you guys would like to help support me financially, I would greatly appreciate that. I'll put the link in the description below. It's money sign LibertyFox 8888, and I'm here fighting for freedom, not just my own freedom, but the freedom and liberty and justice for all is what I want, and I want to contribute to that as much as possible. But I know I have to obviously take care of myself and my own needs first before I can bless others. Blessed to be a blessing type thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and end there. I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out. I love you guys. I just want liberty and justice for all. I want freedom. I want people to be responsible for their actions. I want people to be mature. I want people to heal their trauma. I want everybody's genetic lines to be free to be them, to the fullest degree. And integrate their shadow, integrate their dark side, and be that absolute monster that we all are deep down inside. And learn to control it. And learn to take the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and be, wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. So I'm going to end off with that. Thank you guys. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Later.